From all appearances, Jannah had a normal childhood. She spent most days running around and playing with other kids in the neighborhood. At the age of 12, everything changed. Jannah was raped by an adult family friend. When she found out she was pregnant, her mom branded her a slut and blamed her for being promiscuous. After giving birth at the age of 13, Jannah was introduced to parties where she would drink to numb the pain. While the memory of the rape was painful, her mother's rejection was overwhelming. She felt exposed, unprotected, and the alcohol helped her forget, at least temporarily. At 16, Jannah went to a neighbor's party where someone spiked her drink. When she woke up, she was several states away and lying in an empty attic room where her kidnappers trafficked her for sex. They would drug her food to keep her compliant, eventually forcing her to take heavier drugs to maintain control over her. Jannah never chose drugs, but forced consumption at the hands of her traffickers was the beginning of a cycle of addiction. It took a year, but Jannah finally escaped her traffickers and was able to make her way back home by bus. She anticipated her mother being relieved when she returned and happy to see her. Surely her mom had been worried about her, had been looking for her. But Jannah's mother had never even reported her missing. She had no questions and expressed no concern about her daughter's year-long absence. Jannah felt completely alone with her pain and trauma. On top of that, she was now battling an addiction that was not of her own making. She used drugs to stay awake so she could avoid the nightmare. Too many painful memories and experiences for her young brain to even begin to process. Because of her trauma, she was never able to catch up on her schooling so she could graduate from high school. She tried working jobs at fast food restaurants and convenience stores, but her addiction now controlled her life. She turned to prostitution in a desperate attempt to get the drugs she needed to feel normal. Sadly, Jannah's story is not unique. Those traumatized by trafficking often feel like they have no other option but to trade sex for money, drugs, or even basic necessities like food and shelter. But it's not just that she thinks she has no other option. Jannah, like so many others victimized by traffickers, now has a criminal record because of her drug use and prostitution that will follow her the rest of her life, like a dark cloud, reminding her of her abuse and serving as a constant barrier to a good job and a safe place to live. Jannah's childhood sexual abuse and subsequent trafficking was not her fault. And her prostitution as an adult, that's not a choice either. For her, a broken woman with a soul-deep belief that she has no worth and no potential to choose a different path, that's survival.